So you guys want to have this feature on having your mirrors automatically fold inwards when you lock the car, and when you unlock it, automatically folds outwards. Let me show you guys how to do it. I'm going to first go over the install process, and along the way, as I'm showing you guys how to install this, I'm going to do a cost on how much I spent. Stay tuned until the end of the video so I can show you guys how to save probably half the price that I spent on this mod. And if you guys want to order a plug and play harness for me, I'm going to have that in the description down below. Now that we disconnected the battery, we're going to move on to the driver's side door where we're going to be removing it. And it's pretty simple, as you guys seen in some of my other videos. There's one bolt right here and 2 bolts down here, and then you just pop it out since there's pop clips all around it. There's a little cutout right here in the bottom, so you could use one of these very inexpensive little picks. You could buy a Harbor Freight for a couple bucks. You could also do it from right here on top. You just push it out. As long as you can get your finger back there, it should be pretty simple. So it doesn't like hit you or anything. That's happened to me a couple times. Just like that. There's a little cover right here. So there's a little notch that you could use any pick tool. I like the one that just kind of has this weird angles. You go like this, and then you just put it in there and pop it out. This one's held in by 4 little clips. As you can see, there's 2 screws right here. Let's go ahead and remove them. We're also going to be removing this bolt right here. Also going to be removing the little courtesy light right here in case you guys have a limited or a premium. Then you're going to unplug it right here. All you do is just press it in and pull it out. Now that everything's removed and there's no bolts or anything holding it in, let's go ahead and pop it out. I like to start from this little corner over here. I feel like you can actually get a good hand grip and you just push it forward. It might seem very scary at first when you're popping it out because you feel like you might be using too much force, but you're actually not. This is 33,000 miles of wear. You can see the Alcantara already wearing out. I am going to be replacing this whole door panel because I did make a scuff, and let's just not talk about this, but you guys don't have to do any of that. I'm also going to be replacing this. This one's kind of worn out because of the heat. I'm actually upgrading to a lot better material, but I'm not really going to show you guys that because that's not part of the actual video that you guys are going to be doing if you follow this video along. Right now you're going to be able to just pull it upwards and it's going to come loose just like that. Right here are both cables to unlock and lock the car. You're going to be pulling those outwards. Where all these buttons are connected, there's going to be one connection right there that you're going to unplug. I'm going to go ahead and just pop it out. And that's 1. That's 2. Just going to push it inwards and then pull it out. Now you're able to move the door cover aside. Next up, we're going to be removing these mirrors. So the first thing to do is bend them forward, and there's going to be this plastic cover. So there's a few different ways of removing this. The easiest way is there's a little cutout right here in the top. You're able to use a little pick tool and push it inwards. If you have a little bit of fingernails, you can go ahead and grab the plastic, or even just put a little pry tool in there, and you're able to just pop it out like that. And just be careful with your paint. If you want to go the extra mile, you can put masking tape all around this so you don't scuff up your paint. I'm not going to do that though because it's not necessary. Then go ahead and just remove these 3 bolts. I'm not going to remove them completely just because I still have to unplug the wire from the inside. So let's go ahead and go do that. Right here's the wire. You're going to unplug this one, and you're going to unplug it right here by pressing this down and pushing it out. Then we're going to be removing the bolts that are holding it in, and just put those aside. Don't lose them since we're going to be reusing them. We're going to be popping this outwards. Just be careful once again with your paint. Now we're going to be repeating this on the passenger side as well. The only difference in the passenger side is there's 2 connectors instead of the one that connects to the door lock and window switches. So you just unplug both of them. Pretty simple. And then we're going to be unplugging this one the same, and then we're going to be removing the mirrors as well. Next up, we're going to be removing the mirror from the OEMs and swapping over to JDM ones. I'm not really going to show you guys the process because I'm going to make a separate video that's a little bit more thorough on how to remove it. But same thing, using the little pick tools to just pick the little parts and then it pops out. And I'm actually not going to be reusing these. I ended up buying new ones of these, so I am going to do a separate video on how to pop this out as well. Little shorts, so less than 30-second videos to show you guys how to do these, just to save some time in this video. Make sure you clean this very thoroughly because you don't want any of this debris being there because the gasket might not sit properly and you might get some water leakage in the inside. So what I'm going to be using is Meguiar's waterless wash. I feel like this works the best, especially when the car is this dirty. It's been sitting for about 3 weeks now. Now that we cleaned the surface, let's go ahead and put the wires back in. Now we're going to be connecting a 7-pin back to where it originally was at with the other mirror. Next up, we're going to be removing this little panel right here. First thing to do, this panel overlaps this panel, so just go ahead and pry it upwards just like this. And then you're going to be able to remove this one. There is a pop clip holding it in over here in the rear, so go ahead and pop that out. Now you're going to be able to pop this outwards. We're gonna have to remove all these connectors, which is these two right here and this one right here, so we could push out the grommet from over here. So this one's a little bit more complicated, the yellow one. You have to press this white button towards you and then you push it outwards like that. Now we're gonna be doing these two right here, where it's a little bit easier. You just push downwards. Now you have all three out and we're gonna be fishing them through. We're gonna go ahead and peel this part back. You're gonna have a bigger opening, so right here you can pop the grommet out. You're gonna get your plug and play harness that I sell if you guys wanna purchase one, and you're gonna fish it through here so it could go down through the grommet, downwards all the way out through over here. So let's go ahead and do that. This is probably gonna be the most tedious part since it's so small and I got big hands, but you're able to just fish it through. You just have to keep pulling. Eventually all three will pop out. Funny enough, it looks like on my car at the factory they use electrical tape right here. So I didn't really want to cut it, but now that I know they use electrical tape, I'm probably just gonna make an incision right somewhere over here just to make it easier to run the wire through it. I removed the double-sided tape from the OEM and it looks like it's just two little connectors like this. So you're able to actually slide this through. Since it's like this, I'm just gonna be making a cut right here just so I can fish this through here and down. It'll make it a lot easier. And then I just reapplied double-sided tape since there was already some there to begin with. And just as good as OEM, sealed tight. I triple wrapped it just to make sure that there's nothing open, there's no gases exposed to the weather or anything, and it's good to go. Now we're gonna be putting everything back and through the little hole. Now that you fished everything through and everything's put back together on the driver's side, let's go ahead and connect all these connections back to where they were. Now you're gonna be grabbing the rest of the harness and you're gonna plug this in. First, you're gonna be removing this one right here. So it's the same thing, a little clip. It's for the keyless entry system. You're gonna wanna run it behind the plastic, but it's also okay to run it over it. I did it for a couple months. So you're gonna go ahead and put the new plug in there. And then you're gonna put the OEM one to the new connection right here. Now you're gonna plug in this one to the mirror right here. We do have a couple of zip ties we are going to be using just to make sure everything's tight in there. Next up is installing the module, and it also comes with this double-sided Velcro tape right here. So you're going to put one on one side and then the other one on a perfect spot. I ended up putting it sideways just because it's going to be easier to connect it. And now we can bring this down. Next up is connecting the OEM one to the harness and putting them together. Then after that, we're gonna be putting the panel back on and just connecting everything. Then we're gonna be moving on to running this one through the console behind here, and I'm gonna show you guys a really simple and easy way to do it. Reconnect these two back on. Remember, black on bottom, white on top. Then we're gonna go ahead and put this back. Now we're all done with the driver's side, let's move on to the passenger side. Now we're gonna be doing this side, and same thing applies. Loosen both of these right here for the grommets. Take this panel apart just by pushing it upwards. And if you guys are wondering what this wire is, this is my dash cam. I just have it right here. And same thing on this side. I use electrical tape to combine both of these together. So same thing, peel it off, make an incision, and run it through it. A little tip is peel this back, and it makes it easier to pop this out, and it's pretty small. Let's go ahead and put the cover back on. Time to connect everything on the passenger side. So remember, connect the 7-pin to the OEM one, and there should already be a hole right here somewhere. And then now we're going to be putting the door panel back on, connecting these two, and then connecting these two over here. All that's left to do is just run the wire from one side of the cabin to the other, and this is the part that I'm not looking forward to. It should be really simple, but I'm starting to forget when I did it with my little foot pedal lights. I forgot where exactly it was, but hopefully this tool right here makes the job a lot easier. I did not have this when I did the foot pedal lighting. I was able to push this out, and what I'm gonna do is just zip tie it and then pull it through. I find it to be a little bit easier. The easiest way to do it, to run it, there's gonna be multiple ways. The way I did it is just put the glove box down and run it through here, which ends up going through here and then down there. It's probably the easiest way, and that's actually how I ran my foot pedal lights. So time to just cut the zip tie out, connect this, and then zip tie on the top, probably right next to where the foot pedal lights are. Time to test it out. But let me show you guys one thing. As you can see here, this is the OEM USDM switches with the blank. I wanted to test it out to see if it would work with this. I do have the JDM one. I am gonna test it out with this one, and then I am gonna test it out with the JDM ones, and then I am gonna do a third one. So continue watching to see the results. Again, the negative terminal back on, and start the car and test everything out. Okay, both windows are down, car is unlocked, and let's go ahead and lock it. Nice. Passenger side, lock, unlock. So it goes to show you that you do not have to replace this to have the automatic windows to lock. You can save yourself around $100 right there. But I do want my windows to roll down in the correct way, so I am going to be testing something. Let's go ahead and put the new covers on. As you guys are able to see, this is a JDM one that actually has a button. If you guys want to have this feature, you guys could go ahead and just buy one of these and you'll have the little button. But honestly, it's not necessary to really have that because you already have the auto folding mirror module. The only problem I have with that is when you press this button, the passenger window goes down, and when you press this button, the passenger one, this window goes down. So this is what I'm going to be working on tonight. It's already like 1 in the morning, and I got to start working on it to get this video out for you guys. I ended up tallying up everything I spent for the pretty much this whole mod. About $600 in total that I spent on pretty much everything before the harness. Since I need to buy a lot of stuff in bulk, like the little connectors and stuff like that, I'm not really going to count the cost of everything I spent. But let's say it's about an extra $200 to $250 for the harness. Now let me tell you guys the stuff that you actually really need and do not need. So of course you guys are going to need the mirror assembly, which is about $440, and depending which, you do not need to buy new covers since you can just swap over your OEM ones. You do not need to buy the switch panel that has a little button unless you really want it. For that amount of money you're spending, you're better off just having that blank switch right there. And with the harness I sell automatic folding modules, so your windows are going to automatically roll up and your mirrors are going to automatically fold inwards. So you're just looking at buying three things, which is the mirror assembly that has the motor built in it, small little mirror cover, and then the harness. You can save yourself a couple $100. So far I've had really good luck with just buying everything from japanparts.com. I'm not sponsored by them. So I'm going to have the links down below in the description, or if you guys want to message me on Instagram, 0planet_. You guys can send me a DM. If you guys have any more questions about everything and just maybe how it works. And I just want to say thank you guys for watching, and wait until the next couple videos. I am working on a couple other ones, and I actually want to do a 1 year, 2 year review on this car, just to kind of give maybe new owners that are looking into this car if they should buy it or not. But thanks for watching, guys. Good vibes. Peace out, and until next time.